Some people choose expansion, but some people choose deepening. Either way, having too much of one side without the other side causes an imbalance in your life. Today we're going to talk about how expansion has healthiness to it and unhealthiness to it, depending on you. We're also going to talk about how deepening has healthy ways of doing it and unhealthy ways of doing it based on you. But if you bring both together, this is what allows you to have the most rich life. Let's start with expansion. As you can see, people going past in the background, I'm looking back there as well. People may choose sometimes to just go through life. They may choose that, you know what, I want a plethora experience. I want to experience this cafe. I want to go visit this city. I want to see what this life is like when you travel the world and you experience new things. So the whole life is built upon what is the next thing for me to do? Can I experience this? Can I make money? Can I do this? And it's so amazing to have so much experience. It is. This is one of the halves of life. What do you want to do? Do you want to dance? Do you want to, like some women, shop? Do you want to become better at something? Go travel to this place? Make this amount of money? Have this thing in your life? What do you want to do? This is one of the famous questions. What do you want to do with your time on earth? Are you going to make your mark? Are you going to go out there and are you going to make enough money so you can be able to support your family and be able to support organizations, be able to give to charity and have so much experience? Are you going to be able to do this? What are you going to do? This becomes the question of so many people's lives. And it's a good question for them to ask themselves. What do they want to do? The great thing about doing is that if it stems from a place that's very true, it will manifest so wonderfully. Some people really truly desire to travel the world. Really truly. And see every part of the world that they want to. Some people really truly desire to make a lot of money, like so much. Because they want to help this person, help this organization. They want to have this and have that. And how wonderful is it that we can go out there and make these things happen? People have shown us over and over through time that you literally can have whatever it is that you want. Anything that you want to experience is a possibility. Not only do you know this at some level, but you've seen this. The countless beautiful stories out there of people who came from poverty and are now rich. Or people who never been to the other side of the world like me and traveled to many different countries. Been to Australia. A person who's come from low income like I have, traveling the world, being exposed to different cultures, being exposed to, as my friend would say, Hindu music and enjoying it too. This was my journey. My journey was, you know what, how can I experience so much in life? I want to do so much. I want to help so many guys. I want to travel the world and I want to help. And setting off with that true desire, just going after it, giving it all that I could. And having it manifest like this. Having it manifest that my home is away from home, what I thought was home. The place in the world that I love to call home is Europe, because it fits me more. I wouldn't have had a chance if I was just sitting there somewhere, like some people, just sitting there and just meditating, or just, I'll just do the simple things in life only. If I was just doing that, none of this would be possible. I love the fact that I've made and will make and continue to make a lot of money. I love that. I love the fact that I get the chance to experience the kind of food that I want to experience. When I was younger, I didn't have the choice to experience food I wanted to experience. I had just the food that was given to me, or the food we would get from the pantry, or the food that we would get from the second hand, but from the shelter. We had this in many of my experiences growing up. There was times where I couldn't eat. We were living off bread and syrup. I had so much feeling of, you know what? I want to do something in the world. I know that my life is not going to be one of struggling all the time. I had this grandiose feeling inside of myself of wanting to do something big, wanting to go out and just venture. Much like you probably do. Much like many people who are watching this video, if whoever is watching this video, you probably feel, I want to go out and I want to do so much in this life. And I hope you do. I hope you experience all that you can experience. As I have, and as I will continue. But in all of this, I want you to remain with the other side of life. Because expansion is so amazing. Expansion is so wonderful. But if you're always experiencing, expanding, always moving with the energy of life, always wanting to do this, dance, or do whatever, if you're always experiencing life like this, you don't get the joy of having yourself. That's what you don't get the joy of. You don't get the joy of being in yourself, being with yourself, without having to do. There's incredible joy in expansion, but there's incredible joy with just being there and not doing anything. The learning for anyone who wants to go out there and just expand is deepening. I've heard somebody say, contract. Expand and contract. No, it's expand and deepen, because if you expand and contract is just stop so you can regather energy. It's expand and then deepening. That's the two levels of life. Of course, in the deepening, you are, so to speak, contracting, because you are more still. You are much more non-moving. Of course you are. But if somebody contracts and they don't deepen, it's fruitless. It's the same thing as somebody going out all day and going through their life and going to work and doing the things they need to do during the day, and then coming home and sitting down and go, whew, okay. That will be contraction. But a contraction, if it's deepening, then it's very fruitful. If the contraction is just stopping so that you can regather energy, it's fruitless. The deepening is what makes the expansion beautiful. The being with yourself, the going so deep in yourself and giving yourself the chance to see. And this period that I'm going to talk about next, it is about removing. In the expansion period, it's about going out there and experiencing as much as you can. That's the difference between these two sides, or these two halves, is that one side is gathering and experiencing and having social circles and being able to meet this person and connecting with this person, connecting with people. That's all about the expansion part. That's all about the going out there and doing something. But the part where you are deepening, this is when you start to come to you. This is when you start to see more. This is when you start to remove so that you can see more. This is a being alone. And that's what I'm going to talk about next. When someone starts to go through deepening in their life, they'll begin to remove things, remove people. Because if you want to deepen in yourself, you must remove as much distraction possible. Much like I told you about all my experiences and how I wanted to move through life and I wanted to experience a lot, when I really start to understand that deepening is the balance, deepening is the profound other side, immediately I started to take actions to removing so that I can have more space. Something that became more important to me, something that I find to be more important in the deepening, is removing. Simply because if you do not, you won't be able to see. You hear me talk so much about seeing and truth, and that's because I've had the great fortune of being able to see. And it's not like I'm this special being on this earth that is able to see things that other people can't and I have something that other people don't have. No, it's not that. It's just I chose to remove more of what disallows me to see, unlike most people. When you move into this phase, or when you start to balance out your life and you start to go into deepening, there's a slowness that comes to you. A certain pace of life starts to happen. You begin to feel like everything is even moving slower. People are moving slower. Things that were moving fast, they're even moving slower. Life starts to have a different flavor. That slowness that I first started to feel, it was very strange to me. Because when you start to move away from that fast-pacedness to the slowness, you will feel like you're shifting gears. As one is going 85 miles per hour, and then he starts to get used to going 25 miles per hour, life looks very differently. In many ways, you'll feel like, is my life going to become boring? This is one of the scares, I think, the fears that people go through when it comes to slowing down, when it comes to having space on the inside, removing things in life that distracts you from yourself, distracts you from more fullness of experience. Fullness of experience meaning like the way things feel, the quality of life. When that starts to happen, you start to feel like, and people start to feel like, maybe I'm going to be one of those people who are like a monk. Maybe I'm going to be one of those people who are just so airy-fairy and in the jungle and in the forest and saying, you know what, just slow down and be one with nature. I feel like I'm going to become one of those people, and I don't want to lose myself. I don't want to lose what I am. I've gained so much experience. I went out there, I've done so much. And if I start to slow down, if I start to move away from that, then I'm moving away from myself. Because I'm a person who lives life, who likes to have experience, who enjoys doing this thing and doing this thing. I'm not one of those people who likes to just sit down and just relax too much. Because if I do that, I feel like I want to move again. This is nothing to fear. This is only something for you to go, yes, I want this. Because as enriching as experience is, deepening is just as enriching. It really is. That's been, so to speak, where I've been recently, where I'm at. It's the deepening aspect. Because as you go through your life and you have so much you're doing, the only thing you can do is fill up with more. As I told you in experiences, the only thing you can do is fill up with more. But when I emptied out, when I start to go, this is not going to be in my space, I need to remove this, I need to remove movies, I need to remove music, I need to remove certain people, I need to remove myself from this space. I started to see differently. And that's what I moved into. And I tell anyone who's watching this that if you are someone who's wanting to go, you know what, I want to move into stillness. I want to move into slowness of life. I want to see what is life like in a slow pace. When you're moving across the earth in a way that's very different. When it seems like everybody's in a rush, I want to see what it's like to not be in a rush. When it seems like everybody is trying to get this plethora of experience from everything that they do, and they're trying to become this and do this and make this, what is it like to just sit here and not do any of that? What is it like to listen to the bird chirping? Should I start trying to figure out what color it is? Should I start trying to see, why is it chirping like that? What bird family is it from? Or should I just listen to the sound as it's within this space right here? This aspect of deepening in life also has unhealthiness to it. Because if I just describe the healthiness to it, basically that's what I just did, I want to describe to you ways that people become so attached to it that they stop living life. And I would say someone who definitely becomes really attached to this is like a monk who with strain from anything that distracts their stillness, if I'm correct. They go through their life and they become masters of being immovable. Being in quietness and silence. They're undistracted. They don't fill their life up with anything. They like to be in emptiness, which is the masculine. They like to be in that emptiness. They enjoy it. But they miss out on the flavor of life. They miss out on the touch of a woman's skin. They miss out on how juicy it is to eat certain foods. They miss out how amazing it is to travel the world. Because they're only living one side of life. If you only just deepen and that's it, you become imbalanced because the energy that's inside of you that could go explore this, that could experience this, you learn to not, so to speak, react to it. Or you learn to just let it be there and let it course through you and then channel it in different ways. It also can be unhealthy if someone is so just fixated on deepening itself and missing out on pleasure, the experience, some of the technicalities, some of the joys of doing something like making money. Some of the joys of doing something like dancing, making love. They miss out on the joys of these because they're so worried about the deepening that they miss out on the joy of the moving, the joy of doing something that gives the chance for your energy to move. Not always being this deepening place where you're just always going down, 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 but being in a place where your energy is moving and it's coursing through and it's allowing you to experience this and allowing you to do this. This is the aspect that one can get attached to. It's the deepening without the expansion, without the experiencing the outwardly aspects, the joy that comes from being someone who can be in flow, a beautiful flow state. Learn to roll with the energy of life. And whatever that may be, whether it be painting, whatever expression, just giving yourself a chance. And one way I heard it, which is very beautiful, feel the poetry of life. This in itself is not going to make life the most rich. It adds to the richness of life as a half. But it does need the other half of experience, expansion. It does need that other half. Because when it has the other half, when you put both of these together, which is what we're going to talk about, when you put both of these together, life is whole. It has this beautiful experience of togetherness, this beautiful experience of experiencing the outwardly aspects, the moving energy, and also the times of stillness, the times of like really deepening in yourself, and the time of like being like, okay, I'm going to move like this and go this way. That is the both sides that life has to offer: expansion and deepening. Yes, you should move towards one side if you're imbalanced. If you're expanding through much to life and gathering so much experience that you're forgetting about you and your own let go into more of that which you are, yes, you need to move into deepening. If you've been deepening so long but you don't find that you have poetry of life, the movement of life, the expression of life, this whatever that may be for you, whether that be making money or doing something in this world that you enjoy doing, yes, you should move more towards expansion. But the beauty of this is that you can have both together. I was greatly a person who wanted to expand. Then I became a person who wanted to greatly just deepen. And I started to notice that I can have both of these together. I don't have to be one-sided working on this, one-sided working on this, one-sided working on this. I don't have to do that. I can expand and deepen at the same time. And how do I do that? By doing the experiences that give me the chance to deepen. By expanding in this world in a way that stems from the deepening. That's why. Something I've come to love is animals. I knew that, I love watching cartoons and animated movies, but something I've really come to love is animals. And I was wanting to know in my life, okay, how can I begin to do things that are more animal related, but at the same time be in deepening. So it's like, how do you know that going to see animals is going to allow you to deepen? It's because it's enriching the part of me that is the most deep. I can feel in my core that I really truly love this. And that's why when the woman I share love with right now told me about this cat exhibition that's coming up, I became really excited. I can have both of these together. I can go out there and make love with as many women as I can or want to, and be also interested in the deepening aspect of it. I can make as many of these videos as I want to make them and also be interested in the deepening aspect of it. Which means, am I talking so much and doing so much and getting so happy about this and so in the flow of it that I'm forgetting myself or am I with myself as I do this? I can have both together. It's always a chance for you to have those two worlds together. You can have deepening and expansion together. This is when your life has a grace to it. This is when sometimes you're hanging out with people and you go, right now, I don't want to hang out with people, I want to be alone. This is how sometimes you're alone and then you're like, you know what, I want to go meet up with a friend. I want to go meet up with my family. And as you're with them, you're still deepening in yourself because it's the most true thing to you. And it all comes together in a beautiful concoction of having expansion and deepening both in the same. Okay, so I've talked about expansion and deepening and deepening and expansion, and now it's getting cold like it was yesterday. So I just want to wrap up with telling you that if you're somebody who also follow my pickup videos, what I want you to do is go to my pickup videos and look underneath this video, and you'll be able to notice that there is a Meet to Bedroom series. Totally free, teaching you everything from meet to bedroom. That's going to give you the chance to understand what that world is like. And what I'll do actually, now I just thought about this, what I'll do is that I'll come out with something that's free for those who watch these videos. Because if you are somebody who's engaged in wanting to know more about their life, then I can be gracious enough to give you a meditation that's going to help you. A free meditation video that's going to help you understand how to sit in your core. Something like this. But for now, what I want you to do is I want you to subscribe. Subscribe, and share this with anybody who you feel is going to benefit from it. And in the meantime, I just want to say, it's more important to be that which you are than to try to become that which you want. So never try, just be. I'll see you in a few days.